Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game from EMEA Masters, Winter 2025.
Is that Los Ratones are on blue, TP or Team Phantasma are on the red side, and straight away, I gotta be honest, like the trees being taken away is a good thing as Los Ratones stick to the script and get rid of the forest that they do not like.
It's gonna be funny. TP coming through. Do you know if it's Teleport or it's Team Phantasma? Who is it? Which one of the two is coming through?
If they don't play well, I will not call them toilet paper. That's the one thing I can promise you at the very least.
Okay, Nemesis is stretching. He's stretching.
Getting rid of another tree in the meantime as well. The face cams are important because as we look at Crowdy, who's off center. I mean, hopefully everyone today should be on camera. Yesterday we had a couple of issues with KC Blue, but as we get the Brom taken away in the final ban, what's open for you on blue side? Callista is there. That's the first thing I should start with.
Usually they go with Ezreal. They do prefer that. I feel like Los Ratones, they haven't given a lot of priority when it comes to Callista, but also Azir is one of their biggest assets too. And I feel like you definitely don't want to give Azir over to Pepe by first picking the Ezreal, because Pepe had an incredible solo carry performance in the quarterfinals on Azir.
But picking Azir here early means there's a lot of OPs on the other side as well. We talk about Sejuani in Europe quite a lot, especially when the trees are down. We talk about pairings like the Yone that have come out already too. What do you want to see here on red side? Because I feel like for TP, there's so many good options for setup.
Yeah, Manati is usually a setup jungler as well.
Yep.
So I would expect... Oh, that's actually very weird. I was expecting to see the Sejuani. That pairs up really, really nicely with the Yone right here, but they're going to choose to go with more of a farming type of jungler that also fits the profile for Velia as well. You can also choose to go for something a little bit more aggro, a little bit something that clears much faster, something like even, well, the Nidalee doesn't really fit the bill anymore right now because you've got Azir in the mid lane, so you don't want to pick AP and AP, but the Pantheon perhaps could.
Plus when Baus plays tanks as well in top, and when things like the Scions open, even the Gragas here that gets picked instead, the ability to itemize against mixed damage when you have a high-profile AP jungler also gets a little bit harder as well. So AP solo lane is built up by Los Ratones. You're expecting that to be top for Baus, as we know that the Gragas is also one of his most favorite champions that we've talked about in the earlier show.
And I wonder if they want to prioritize Velia a little bit here, or they want to pick Crowny's Ezreal. Every time this champion is usually open, they do tend to pick it. It's going to be the Zinza right now. This is a very, I want to say, uncharacteristic front-to-back scenario coming through from Los Ratones with the classic control mates, with the Azir, Zinza to protect carries together with Gragas. So I'm expecting potentially Crowny and Reckless to go more a little bit towards that hyper carry potential down the bot lane.
Well, we're just kind of thinking about what matches that mid lane at the moment, because against Azir, we're assuming, okay, it's going to be the Yone. It is actually going to confirm our suspicions. Nautilus gets locked in, but it's not Baus, so I'm assuming that goes to Reaver in the bottom lane, and we're not going to get that in the solo lane.
All right. And what's open right here is both 80 carries for that bot side of the map and support, of course, for Reckless. I feel like it's also a little bit to Los Ratones' best interest that Reckless plays so many enchanters into whatever matchup he chooses down the bot lane. So like the Jannas, the Lulus, the Sorakas, all of that can come out. So just banning away a lot of the engage doesn't really matter here. You have enough engage. You've got Zinza, you've got Azir, you've got the Gragas to set up fights for you. So I feel like if Crowny and Reckless play a little bit more for that hyper carry matchup down the bot lane, it might be a little bit more beneficial.
Well, maybe something like Zeri Yumi, Zeri Lulu. Those have been thoughts and considerations come later in the draft in Fearless, but
thoughts and feelings and thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and feelings about that one, I think. So if you want to see hyper carry, that's the direction that could go. Banned away up against the Gragas. Didn't think it was that bad of a matchup, but again, this is a constant that's come through from Los Ratones so far.
I feel like Jace might just be the last ban here for Los Ratones. Extremely strong when it comes to playing against Gragas. And of course, a lot of poke from far away that Yone can actually capitalize on. You've got the AP jungler as well, so it would pair really nicely. Keo likes to play it as well. So I feel like I've heard Baus in general say that in general Gnar and Jace, whenever he plays those AP top laners, so AP tanks, are usually the killers to his lane, but Jace gonna be left open right here.
Yeah, it is indeed. And when you already have an AP jungler, this opens up a lot of options for that pick. They're holding it for now, want the priority 80 carry instead of matching what's up in that top lane. And as you talked about, because Crowny's Ezreal's up and available, it's a nice pinch from Team Phantasma.
However, you can possibly go towards more of a misfortune route here for Crowny. Jhin or Misfortune are usually champions you want to play into Ezreal because they tend to trade really nicely with Ezreal. They get to push in the lane. They have that raw damage in the early game. However, Crowny is considered the Xayah here potentially to go up against the Yone, but I would love to see a little bit of a Misfortune for some priority in lane.
Yeah, I guess
either... Oh, that's also good.
Corki also has a bit of a self-peel as well. Is it just going to be a Rakan angle? Reckless's Rakan is like no other. No, locks in the Rel instead. Not going to be his first Rel, but this is a pick as well that's kind of been looked aside from Los Ratones, and we get a bit more hard engage built up by this squad as well. Set up with a nice bit of front to back.
I feel like right here, Jace makes a lot of sense. You've got the Ezreal. Jace can add a lot in terms of poking as well. You can set up fights really nicely, and then you can have the Yone capitalizing or getting onto the backline with Zara defending. That would make sense.
Oh
that
my god,
scenario.
is it a naught top? Is it a naught top?
It's
no,
not.
No,
It's
okay,
not.
Poppy gets locked in. I just thought, maybe we take one from the book. So, nice bit of disengage here. And I guess for Team Phantasma, their homework is we're going to make sure that this Gragas, this Xin Zhao can't get in. Reckless on Rel with the primary engage. Can't do his job.
I really like what Los Ratones have here because I feel like blind picking Azir and obviously blind picking Braum, you can lose priority in lane really easily. And that was the sore point with Velia. He was constantly getting invaded. And I feel like right here, they're going to definitely have to spot Manatee in the early game. Zara is one of still the fastest clearing junglers, in the game.
True.
So Velia could be under a lot of stress in his jungle.
I mean, I feel like this is one of the, LPL pairings, no trouble. You also watch a lot of the LPL. It's either Yone Sedge that's risen up in Fearless as well because of the flexibility, or it's Yone Zyra. And this time around for Manatee, when we talked about this jungler being a bit of a pivotal member, someone like Team Phantasma, when Velia has been in the spotlight as well, this sets him up for a good game one. This sets up for a good semi-final, especially when you're the Greek representative. I'm Australian. Essentially, I came from the UK like 400 years ago. Apparently, we're all criminals. Apparently, I was a bit posh. So I came over on a big boat with family. So we have a representative for each team. That's what I'm trying to say,
There's already a Greek representative in the final as well.
Yeah,
So
but
you know
you're
it.
the Greek representative on the cast. I'm the UK representative. Even though you're involved in NLC.
Listen, my head and my heart are both in this game. Let's say that.
There we go. Okay. I don't know what's in this game, but I hope it's going to be fun. I hope it's going to be bloody against Team Heretics. It was an upset from Team Phantasma, but on the other side, lost Ratones. You can say the same thing, beating Supermassive. And yes, they're favorites for the fans, but favorites in the game, now a real consideration. Welcome to the semi-finals here at EMEA Masters for Winter 2025. And already game one draft starts off with a bit of a bang. Looking forward to these team fights and looking forward to seeing what gets thrown down on the roof. Great Britain versus Greece.
That's right. The
I don't know.
NLC versus the Hellenic League right
Yeah,
here.
much better.
Huge upset for Team Phantasma to be here, having beat Los Heretics. And Los Ratones with an upset themselves. They beat Supermassive. Literally, these two teams beat two tournament favorites to win the whole damn thing. Lots of games to take notes from. 10 games to take notes from for both of these teams. And I feel like they play a very similar game where they both really like their bot lane prior. They like getting their AD carries ahead. Pepe usually in a role that we haven't necessarily been accustomed to yet at EMEA Masters, playing the Yone a little bit more aggro, not necessarily the control mates to protect. Excellent in the bot side of the map. He's also playing a very self-sufficient AD carry, so he doesn't need as much peeling and protecting this time around.
On that note, it feels like there's pinch-aways for both teams. You were talking a little bit about Crownies, Ezreal, nice takeaway from TP, right? Nemesis early, first pick, blue side is straight into that Azir. Pepe's most played champion so far, so it does again feel like there's a comfort being dismissed, although Pepe's second most played is the Yone, just for priority's sake. We start with the lane, and I've been told, ladies and gentlemen, that you're about to get a small little pause, And you know what that means? Yeah, not yet, but you're going to get it shortly.
XDD drowning?
Oh, no, I am drowning, yeah, that's right. I couldn't swim well as a kid. It's because I come from OCE. Anyone who comes from Australia or SEA, we just can't swim.
Do you guys not swim because of the sharks, or?
Yeah, too many of them. We have a place at the bottom of Australia called the Great Bite. And literally it's where sharks go. Like, no joke, it looks like a bite, as there's the pause we're talking about. And now, of course, we are a little bit ahead, which means we just watch this. Boom. Big pace, and you don't see off screen, I get to sit again.
Oh,
huge.
the comfort.
Actually huge. Now, you were setting up comps in this game. You were setting up a little bit of what we should look out for. I mean, there's a lot of scaling here. There's a lot of team fight presence, I feel like. A lot of all-in, especially from Team Phantasma with the Zyra. What do you want to start?
I'm actually wondering how Team Phantasma is actually going to be setting up their fights now, since they don't have Manatee to start those fights.
True.
He's usually on things like the Ivern, the Sejuani, the Maokai. He starts fight for his teams. And right now, it's all on Reaver's shoulders to find the correct targets, to find the correct engages. And what I'm saying, this is like, okay, Georgia, how freaking difficult is it for Nautilus to press Q? Have you watched the LEC, guys, recently? Not every Nautilus Q is a good Nautilus Q.
True. I think spacing is going to be mega important then if we take Nautilus out of the equation, as Bal's has taken a bit of HP, but thanks to Gragas' passive, he should be able to heal up. Good body slam to disengage before Kyo got the hammer shock down.
I've just realized, Gragas' belly so wobbly on this skin.
It really is.
It's great.
This is a super fan one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Baus might be okay. I mean, the wave's pushing up against Kyo at the moment. But Baus does have TP to come back.
I feel like Manati here might just wait for Velia to show up. As you can see, his bot lane does have the priority. Manati is going to grab that Scuttle Crab, even though it should have been Velia's Scuttle Crab. He does have so much push down the bot lane. Los Ratones are going to lose that one, and I wouldn't be surprised if Manati kind of beelines through that mid lane and goes to the top side.
As you said though, Trouble, I mean, it's the clear speed, right? Zara is still one of the quickest clear speeds in the game, as you mentioned at the start of draft. And that effect, Manati is going to be able to double scuttle. And further mention that puts Baus under pressure as well, who just TP'd in, so he probably needs to shove that wave, neutralize a bit, and just wait and see what happens. For the time being, Velia does the same, gets his back off first, which means Longsword Ruby Crystal, while good mention of the Nautilus. There it is. Reaver just gets chunked out to half HP.
I would like to see the Zara actually press B here and then get back on the map. Grab a few, grab like at least a crystal, some extra HP. Because you see the Xin Zhao does have the longsword and the extra HP from the crystal. So if you do end up in a 1v1 or a 2v2, the Xin Zhao will be stronger on the map right now. However, Zara is one of the hyper-clearing junglers. So if you're not necessarily under pressure, you don't expect Xin Zhao to ever invade a Zara as well, especially if it's alone. If it's not potential with Reckless and Crown Impression down the bot lane, it can be possible. But since that bot side is being cleared away by Manati, you're going to see him pressing his B right now, going back to base, getting his first items.
Ping's also going down on Dragon, so I feel like this might just be a top starter clear on those Raptors, moving down to Dragon as well as an option for Velia. I mean, yeah, it's going to be able to catch up a bit of speed, but at the end of the day, you're talking about apples and oranges, aren't you? What does that even mean?
I was about to say, what does that mean?
It's an English phrase, but it's one of those things, you know, like apples and oranges, they're so different.
But they're also so boring.
But yeah, I guess they're both round. You know, one of those sayings where you like my wife hates this, right? She hates much of a muchness. That's an English phrase. It's much of a much, like it's much of a muchness. Like it's kind of the same. But isn't that stupid? What the hell is much of a muchness?
What is apples and oranges? The only thing I can remember with apples and oranges is the guy who was like, hey, Apple. Hey, Apple. What was he called? The annoying orange?
Yeah, someone's phone right now is opening. Hello, what do you want? You know, I mean, this is something I don't do this on LEC. Right? This is a special place. But
We've given you the avenue.
I love the power I have on broadcast to be like, Alexa, play Despacito. And, you know, with how many viewers we have right now sitting at home, and if we're on the television, you know, every now and then, I think I did this last year, we get someone who messages in setting it up, because that's what a dive is, setting it up for Velia to come in.
That is so uncharacteristic for Team Phantasma. They gave up every single Void Grub spawn to Lost Heretics in their series, every single one, willingly. They just did not want to fight it. And right here, Zara showing how fast and how easy it is to clear those kinds of neutrals.
Sure.
I think Manati might have just taken away only 2, if I'm not wrong. Only 1, actually. They're sprinting to try and fight Dragon.
Yeah, but it might be a little bit late. I mean, for Dragon at 2.5k, I'll hold my breath at the very least. Pepe has his ulti available, so does Nemesis. Flashes in the way as Manati just gets bursted down. First blood's there. Pepe now ulti's in. Dredgeline in as well. Lost Ratones are going to lose their 80 carry. Now that Crownie's down, they turn for the one exposed member as Baus going to be down here first. Could be the difference maker as a crash down. Sets up for the damage and the slow. Baus in, waiting for his ulti and his flash. It's a body slam. It's a game-making play from Baus. He rolls in and blows the thunder to make it 3-1.
Whoa, that was a little bit disrespectful from the sort of Team Phantasma to not flash the body slam from Baus. I think it was very obvious that he was going to try to make a play right there. Super low HP bars, not a lot of mana left over on Team Phantasma. However, what a fantastic roam over from bot lane. You would have seen prior to that, Kyo had actually pushed Baus out of his lane if you look on the minimap, and Baus took that and said, yeah, okay, bet, I'll just roam mid then. This is a fantastic play right here from Nemesis and Reckless as well, very well coordinated, taking Manati out of the picture. And actually this whole play kind of left me head scratching a little bit. You already started the Void Grubs, finish the Void Grubs, actually handshake the objectives since you get the +1 on feature strength as well. I feel like Team Phantasma sort of, what's the phrase? Something about a pie, having a pie and eating the whole, like. Yeah,
something like that. Eating your cake too. Having your cake and eating it too or something.
Something like that.
English phrases today, absolutely fantastic. But that roam from Baus, it got to be a lot better than any of those phrases right now. Picks up the whole wave as he backs off in front of it as well. He's lost a little bit of minions, but into Kyo before, he was already getting bullied out in the lane. So gold's actually quite even between the top laners. He was able to pick up kill credit. And Nemesis from that last play, although he didn't ult in the end, and it feels like he didn't have to, he did pick up 2 of his own. Early Azir with almost a Nash's at 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and very similarly to Yone as well, Nashor's is a very big spike early game for Azir, getting all those auto attacks with the soldiers early on, especially around neutral objectives. When you've got short-range carries like the Zyra, the Poppy, the Yone running through those teamfights are really going to hurt them, trying to contest through those objectives, and those objectives went down. The Dragon is still up, the Void Grubs are still up.
True.
Let's see, Manati's towards the top of the map. Let's see if he's going to choose to actually finish them.
Two-shot barrage might kill Baus here, though, and Kyo thinking about going in. Steadfast Presence is now down. Low on mana he is. Looking to clear the wave and at least try and get something, but Kyo has one more minion to play with. Ulti's out. Under turret, it's not going to be there. Explosive Cast, though, sends him back, but one turret shot's all he's going to take. Ends up being an elongated solo kill. Well, Reaver died in bot, so once again, Lost Ratones, when Baus is absorbing pressure, Lost Ratones are fighting down bot.
Yeah, they grabbed the kill for themselves down bot lane. Of course, unfortunately, it ended up going to Reckless. However, Manati is looking for that mid lane. Nemesis does have his ultimate available if he needs it, and
Pepe going in. How much of a risk is it? Buffer's out. Ulti not going to do too much except send him away.
take the Void Grubs! Oh my, I literally just
It's
want to start.
following you.
I literally just start when I shake in the screen. That was the perfect opportunity. You kill the top laner, you've got the tempo tops of the map.
Pepe?
Take the top Void Grub!
Pepe's going to be ignited here. Reckless is waiting for the perfect time to crash down. Nemesis is low on mana, though, so maybe miscommunication. Lost Returners thought we can find something. Pepe's just going to get his max out damage, and his soul goes back to being bound. That's a massive mistake from Reckless, but a communication issue from Lost Returners here around mid.
Yeah, Nemesis, not a lot of mana in the pool. He might just have Nashor's just completed, actually, in base. So he's hit a pretty good early game spike for the Azir. Baus doing Baus things, just proxying. And I want to remind everyone that while Baus is doing this, he's actually a big escape artist on Gragas, and Keo lost a bunch of creeps in terms of experience and gold underneath his tower, trying to chase Baus around.
Yeah, CS is actually even now on that top lane, and because Baus got a little bit of gold before, even 200 gold, you're not going to think it's... Oh, it's just dead, by the way. Caught out in the middle of the lane. Well, Manatee's not getting those grubs you want, while the objective game is not really there. Manatee's starting to punish some of these moves from Lost Returners.
I'm very confused. Am I watching Zyra or Sejuani gameplay?
True. Just everywhere.
I'm just so confused. I don't think, like, the whole essence of Zyra is like, you're so damn fast at clearing your jungle. Therefore, you clear so fast, you get time to invade, you've got priority lanes, you make the enemy jungler's life a hell. And it hasn't necessarily been the case. Manatee did have chances to take the Void Grubs top side. They did have chances to take the Dragon bot side. It hasn't necessarily been either of those that they wanted. They just played for pure gold and kill pressure on the map. And as you can see, went back to base, grabbed his Leandris, he's back on the map.
You know what? Shop laners beef it out a little bit. That's because junglers are also here. And as you mentioned, those grubs that are still standing there, I believe, I mean, this came out when grubs came out, right? They rotate, I'm pretty sure. I can't even remember. There's been so many patches in the past few years.
He took one
but
and
then,
left two.
Don't they rotate? Don't they then die and the new 3 spawn at like 12 minutes or something? I can't remember, honestly. Sometimes in League of Legends, I feel like an old man where I'm like, yo, Wriggle's Lantern, how many years ago was that? Well, Kio's going to get ulted here. Kio might just get ulted if he steps too fast. Steadfast Presence is good.
Back in my day, Eddie Carries used Gale Force.
I mean, and the fact that that's kind of recent is crazy. Actually, that's season 12 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, 3 years ago? That wasn't.
That was 3 years ago, I think.
What? Yeah, mythic items. I like the mythic item patch. It made me feel like very...
Sunderer.
Yeah. I felt good about the game, you know? Like, I know that I have to build a mythic item. That's what I have to do.
They simplified it for you.
Yeah. They dumbed it down for me. Now, while grubs continue to be an afterthought and grubs are just left for this game, I mean, it sits with Lost Ratones playstyle as always, where Crowny and Reckless been getting a lot of attention, but I say that, their lane getting bullied once again. Manatee playing through the lane gank with the 1k gold lead and the Leandri's death cap. They're just forcing him off the turret.
Yeah, look in the jungle as well. Pepe has the first roam over from the mid lane.
That's a solo kill top. Wait for it. You look in the picture it's close call, but Baus has to flash. Meanwhile, we look in front of our screen and see that Reckless is in a bit of trouble. Kites away, Dredgeline brings him back in, and he's just dead to Reaver. Now in a 2 versus 3, becomes a 4 versus 3, becomes a 3 versus 3 with Nemesis joining in for free. The shuffle back the ulti to buffer. Nemesis under turret, though. Takes too much damage from Pepe. Excellent is hitting from the back and charging up Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot. Pepe's done his job. This Yone's big. Keo somehow ends up under the turret. Baus slaps him right in the face. And now he's a B.
The solo bolo coming through from Baus. Yet another one. He had 2 on Armut in that Supermassive series, but a very even trade down the bot lane. I feel like both teams look to be very scrappy, especially in this early game. They grabbed the first item, the Ruin King of Yone, Nashor's on Azir, but very nice cast straight under the tower for Bounce. I think Bounce has to flash here, yeah, to get away from Keo, but he gets some honey fruit.
Yo, the lettuce!
Keo thought he left. Keo thought he left, grabs his flash as well.
Oh my
Disaster.
god. Whoa.
Disaster.
That was a shutdown as well, by the way. Cosmic Drive picked up. Boots half the stack here. As usual, going Symbiotic Souls, and top is actually now in a very good spot. With that roam too, remember Nemesis has just been chilling, and while Pepe's been getting gold, trouble, I feel like it's important to mention that the bot's, what, 1,300 gold ahead. How is Crowny so far ahead? I thought that went bad down bot. Crowny is mega huge.
He has been involved in a lot of these kills.
He has.
And he's got a lot of CS. Shocker, I know. He's probably the highest CS at 15 that we have at EMEA Master so far, and the highest CS in general, overall. So Crowny always manages to find some sort of gold revenue anywhere around the map, and I'm pretty sure they had like 1 or 2 turret platings as well.
Baus is TPing to where? He's in river now. They're going to set up for this dive.
The dragon.
Yeah?
There is no TP on Keo, so I do not think that Team Phantasma really want to contest this. There's no flash on Zyra. Surely you don't walk in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ward there. They saw Baus move through, so Reaver knows that Baus is in the way, but he's not going to check this front. Tries the Hex Flash. Disrespect, maybe just not looking. Dragon's going to go down, and Reaver is probably just dead meat. Baus goes over the wall, gets away from the Strangle Thorns as Pepe is going to ulti in. Finding his mark on Crowny as good as he gets the barrier out, but it's not enough. Dragon, a kill. Good news here for Los Ratones.
Los Ratones are pulling Team Phantasma all around the map. Manatee has no business walking up there. He has no flash onto the Zyra. He's literally one belly bob, one engage from Zinza, one Azir shuffle, any of that, and he dies. Keo did not have TP to follow Baus. Therefore, just take the top lane tower, push waves under there, try to play perhaps for the Reef Herald. I feel like this is the whole essence of, like, when you are playing in a scrappy team, you need to know the limits of when not to actually walk in for this objective, because there's only things to lose. However, the positives that I will take is that Pepe really hurts on that Jonas. If he does find his mark, Los Ratones could be counting losses.
I mean, he's playing really good in this early game. Some of the counter ganks come to the setup that's come from him so far. Feels like one of the big reasons that TP still quite neck and neck in this early game, despite the fact that also Manatee is just still farming up a storm, but Herald has now spawned. This is a 1 grub game. Very rare to see 1 grub in the total game.
I told you at the start, none of the teams care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
I mean, Los Ratones has got the Dragon stack here with an Azir and Corki. For a comp that you could argue is very good at setting up their engage. Well, easy to set up their engage as well, and we talked about it a little bit at the start. That hook button is so important here. It's going to be spotted out behind the pit. Ward's cleared out, control ward placed down, and Los Ratones taking the Herald. But not much of a trade across map.
They can definitely open a tier 1 tower as all 3 are still standing 16 minutes into the game. And they're going to swap Corki towards the top side of the map. Of course, this matchup is something that we are quote-unquote used to over in the mid lane. Corki versus Yone, they get to ping-pong the lane around. However, Yone does start winning after that level 3. And of course, after having below the Ruin King. So Reckless is going to be accompanying Crown on the top side. Baus
catches the edge. He's going to get an ulti popped out of him, and Baus is just dead here to Manatee. So that's good.
However,
but Ratones get top turret.
It's always the case. I feel like they are using Baus as bait. I mean, he's not falling behind. If you look at the CS, he's pretty even. He's like just a wave about behind. He's got 2 assists plus 1 kill over on the Poppy because he has been joining those fights. Item and a half, like he's doing absolutely fine. And also he's building towards that AP route, but it's actually pretty viable right now because if you do snipe either Zyra or Ezreal, you can just literally 100-0 them. Bomba.
I mean, it just feels like like a usual scrim game you see either on Casual Channel or you see, I don't know, I feel like we've been seeing it the past couple of months. You know, their scrims have been public for a while and it just feels like, yep, all attention's played towards Baus and Los Ratones are busy doing something else on the other side of the map. They get the gold, and as Keo tries to find something on Nemesis, the whole of Los Ratones are moving down towards bot. Not because of Dragon, they just want to get this bottom side turret and open up the map a little bit here. As Manatee is paying that respect. Yeah,
and I feel like for sure you definitely do not want to have your Poppy playing up against that Azir, that 600 Sky Poppy. You get it very heavily poked. Even if you were to be in a fight, you would lose the advantage right there. So you look on the map, the reset came through from Pepe. He's now going to be joining that bot lane versus Nemesis. However, he has Reckless around if they wanted to play a little bit more aggressive. Manatee and River around the area to try and help Pepe push that wave out a little bit more comfortably. Velia around the area as well.
Sure.
We're suddenly getting a lot of bodies towards the bot side. It's not even Dragon time yet. It's usually like around the 1 minute mark, 50 seconds that you actually see teams starting to set up for those objectives.
A lot of crowning. A lot of autos there. Axelin just gets a bombardment on the back end. Reaver's now coming in on a ward. He's spotted though. But might actually have time to buy as, yeah, True Shot Barrage goes a little bit wide there as well. Good reset timing, by the way. A minute till that dragon. Brownie not backing yet, but surely. Maybe waiting for the Caulfield's Warhammer to upgrade into something? To upgrade into the Manamune?
I'm
No?
expecting...
He's ganking.
Yeah.
No, he's ganking actually. With the Gatling gun, he's ganking.
Whoa!
Phosphorus bomb flashed away from the big one. Almost connects. Crowny just got both summoners out of Axelin by himself. Yeah, that Corky's a jungler.
That was a fantastic trade by Crowny. 40 seconds before the Dragon. This is going to be so point if Los Ratones manage to take it down. And Crowny with a huge trade, taking both summoners off of that Ezreal. Now the Bomba becomes even more fearful.
I mean, Keo is getting a face of it right now, though. And as Baus gets himself phase rush, Keo is in a lot of trouble. Steadfast presence on up. He has to pop the ulti. And in response, as he flashes away, Baus drops his own. But a flash, a bomb in the face. A Gragas barrel, rather, as Baus is once again setting it up. Steadfast presence comes up in the nick of time. If he gets hit for grasp, he could be dead. But Keo has no flash to rearrange for the shove into the wall. Body slam in. Yet again, the healing from Baus and Nuisance. But Keo's healing up too. There's the shove. He runs away. But keeping it a knife's edge while everyone is focusing around the Dragon. Baus has TP. Keo has TP.
Can you stop him?
He can get back first.
Ooh,
No, it's
he's not
cancelled. And Keo now has the back. He's got the health bar and he's got the TP. If he comes from base, the longer this Dragon holds, the better.
However, look at Los Ratones. They respect the 4 versus 5. They're going to take their hands off of that. They'll take that bot lane tower, using again that pressure from Baus. And Keo's just going to burn his TP here for nothing. He's just going to choose to possibly play for bot side, but now Pepe's bot side. A little bit head scratcher. However, I don't know if we're gonna get that replay off the top lane. Keo did something extremely clever. If you guys didn't know, the passive from Poppy is that shield. However, for the shield to actually be transferred directly to your body, you need to kill, you need to last hit something. He last hit one of the Atakan flowers that spawned on the map,
True.
which then gave him that shield to survive the burst from Baus, to then turn it around with a standard Sky heal for himself and survive that trade on the 1 versus 1. That was very, very clever.
Nice pick up there. Grumble, I feel like, you know, that was down to inches, and that just might have been the inch to make a difference. Now for Keo, though, getting ganked and getting a bit of tension up towards his top side. Of course, it's the angle where Baus isn't, as Keo sends out the ulti, and Velia goes bye-bye for a little bit. They're playing up towards top. While Bomber comes down in bot. Wait, actually, Pepe in a bit of trouble. I'm surprised Baus didn't actually get in the way of that, so he'd stay under turret, but he's confident enough. Pepe still in so much danger. The flash was burned in the previous play. With the body slam, he gets in range, and Pepe uses his own. He's a man creating pressure, and he keeps on going.
That is crazy. Team Phantasma cannot afford to put anyone on a side lane.
Pepe
He
has
dunks
what?
on Pepe, he dunks on Keo. It's so difficult to figure out who do you want to send versus this Gragas.
But because he ulted as well, even though Pepe has TP, if he comes into his play, he doesn't have a game-changing ultimate that lines up with the Zyra. He's kept in lane by Baus for the time being. Free flowers given over Los Ratones in game 1, and mid pressure is what TP now have to kind of find.
Yeah, I feel like for Ruinous Atakan, not a lot of teams are willing to throw games over or try to force fights over. They'll usually give it away. However, Team Phantasma, they will take that mid lane tower, the mid lane tier 1, which is very, very important, especially when you want to create opportunities from side lanes or from Fog of War with the Yone ult, with the Nautilus, with Hex Plus as well. If they manage to get that tier 2 as well, that would be huge actually for them.
Does one grub do enough? No.
You should have taken the 3 when you could.
3. You're right. If Manatee got the 3rd, it would have been a very different ballpark here. Baus is now grouped up and sitting on a ward with ult available. Team Phantasma are giving respect. Pepe also moving just in case, as there are pings going topside for the time being.
And we're just chilling for now. 2.5 minutes until the next Dragon. Again, sole point on the line for Los Ratones if they manage to secure that one. And what do you know?
Not much.
Baus again.
Yeah. Is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, he is.
But, I mean, we know this playbook. However, with Baus and that big minion wave coming in, might be a little bit more difficult. This is a 2.5 item Gragas. He does have wave clear here. Explosive cast clears the wave. Flash in a straight line, but Bals doesn't have that. He body slammed rather, as now this is the response play. Reckless stops up the ulti and Keo is dead. It's a shutdown over to Los Ratones. So what is going to be more worthwhile? You got to say this is an inner turret with pressure on in him. No one is back, by the way. They might be able to force a TP that comes through from the push in top, but and get nice hands from Pepe. He's not going to pull that trigger. More gold, you'd have to argue, goes to Los Ratones.
Yeah, I feel like Team Phantasma are not necessarily using these opportunities because every single time Baus dies, he takes the wave with.
Yeah.
So you've got another 20 seconds having to wait for the next wave to come through to make a play. By that time, Los Ratones have taken something from you. They've reset already, and they're already pushing the lanes. And this is why we're talking about the Los Ratones macro and their tempo in particular, using Baus on a side lane. And man, you know what? I don't envy being a top laner. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. Both top lanes bullied around.
He's just in the bounce. It gets cancelled right there from Reckless as well. Velia joins in, grabs that shutdown on the Poppy. 2 items onto Velia as well. No Black Cleaver yet completed for Velia. I'm expecting it to be the next item that he goes for, or it could just be straight up the Sterox for him, seeing the items in his inventory. However, I do really like in general Black Cleaver on AD junglers because it really does help your AD carry pop through.
True, and I said this yesterday, I've said this a lot, when you get into late game, Black Cleaver just has inherent value even on squishies because your base armor goes up to 50% damage reduction on AD. A really important note that, again, it has high value, and we'll have to see if that comes through as a third hit for Velia. It might be a Sterox gauge with the components. But I want to bring back to, this guy up in top. Explosive cast, Pepe in a bit of trouble. Fate still going to be there. Body slam, I think, interrupted.
Whoa!
Weird animation as Yone doing Yone things with 2 items. It's a solo kill for Pepe.
Oh, yeah. Shield bow completed as well for Pepe right there. He's going to be an absolute menace on a side lane, and of course the tower is literally hanging by a thread. We saw it before. Team Phantasma literally left it on 1 HP, came back to finish the deal. Now there's going to be a lot of darkness for Los Ratones, especially around the exits, and the entries of their 2 quadrants.
And this is the weakness of Los Ratones, I think is what we've seen is when there's no setup, when there's no telegraph play for Los Ratones or planning, but when Bals is making such an aggressive play on the side lane, then again, it's like you look at the map state and you're like, wait, we're not actually trading anything for this over-aggression for this potential 1v1. In this play, they lost inner turret mid, they lost Bals' life, they lost Dragon, 2 Dragons for TP as well. I mean, this is going to be the call with teleport being channeled as well.
There is no ultimate onto Pepe, and this is very, very huge. One of the big battle augments that you need to have to turn this around. Of course, it's Azir, Quirky, absolutely battering that purple worm. It's gone.
I love my spiel about where's the setup? It's not telegraphed, and there's no other play on the other side of the map. I guess the long play.
It was all a facade.
Yeah,
they wanted him to take the dragon.
They wanted them to get inner turret dragon because then they had to reset.
You know what's really funny? Sometimes there is actually no play from Los Ratones.
Yeah.
And it's like they're really trying their hardest to figure out what they can squeeze out of a Baus death. And this time it was like, wait, we're giving up the dragon. Just rush Baron. They have so much raw power in DPS. With Corki and Azir, 3 items. You see Death Cup and Hourglass completed for Nemesis, and now they can very easily pressure that mid lane tier 1.
Don't be surprised when you see top laner damage. I mean, look, running into it's so... I hate top lane damages when it's bruises and tanks, though, because they always do damage. It's like a Set versus a Sion. Like, Set's always going to do the most damage in the game. No, you don't.
I see a Lichbane Cosmic Drive Gragas.
True.
That's full Bomba.
Yeah, but got HP in his build at the very least. Look, level 16 now, so that Bomba advances a little bit, but inner turret's being threatened, and as Pepe sits in the side lane with no TP, by the way, mid might just be next to go, or maybe a quick reset. Regardless, Los Ratones up almost 3,000 gold here in this game 1 of the semifinals. And you can see Pepe, I feel like, has been one of the stars so far in this opening game. For Greece. It just feels like Pepe on this Yone is such a side lane threat now.
Yeah, but I feel like right there was another play for Team Phantasma. Reckless is looking at the angle.
Yeah, he did miss though, but he gets the flash regardless. They're going to be worth for now, and the Fate Seal gets Pepe out. So no summoners, and they talk about the player, and he gets caught out a little bit.
For now, I think it's fine to blow your ultimate right there. Your flash, not necessarily ideal.
True.
But throwing your ultimate out when it's 3 minutes until next dragon, you're probably going to have that, not probably, you're going to have that up by the time that dragon spawns. However, I feel like for Team Phantasma, they don't necessarily have the best of wave clears, and they don't necessarily have the best of range when it comes to like Zara, and no wave clear on Ezreal, and then you have an Yone, so instead of sitting under tower and getting consistently poked and getting out Baron with the push. Sorry, out pushed with the Baron. Out Baron with the push.
Out Baron with the push. I got the sentiment. You know when your brain connects it anyway? You don't realize, you're like, wait a minute. I mean, the Baron push so far has been about 2.7k, so decent Baron play. Yeah, you know, opens up the map a little bit as well, which is always going to be good when you have someone like Baus on your team, but I feel like this next Dragon in 2 minutes is going to be really where all cards are drawn. 3 items on the Yone, by the way, so Pepe, or that highlight was there before, talking about how he's been playing in side lanes, team fighting. Now with one-shot capabilities and people like Crowny, Nemesis are going to be important. Like it's on his Hourglass when there's a lot of all-in, a lot of big ultis to send at Nemesis. He's got a lot of protection.
A lot of the times you also see the BT coming through as third item for the Yone, especially when there's like a lot more beefier targets that you're going to be beating up either on side lane or in team fights. But here you have like very squishy targets. Like technically even Baus could go down with an Infinity Edge, especially with all these auto attacks that are coming through for Yone. So I really like the Infinity Edge third. And there is a death cap that's just about to be completed onto Manatee. If you can actually get that one through right before the next big fight, that'd be huge, but I don't think so. With a minute and 20 on the line right here, I think they need to start thinking about how to set up. You need to stop pushing waves, get some vision in your jungle. If you look on the top side, it's all Los Ratones.
Well, Baus is going up. TP is almost up and available, so he's playing for this long timer. And then it gives him that leverage as well as Team Phantasma get themselves control in the river. Right now, Los Ratones are paying respect, paying homage since the wave is so deep. Baus also pushing up in top. Just help, as I said, buy them that time. 50 seconds till the Drake. And we're going to see if Manatee can get his Ratones before. What has he got to clear? Trouble? Ooh, a couple of camps.
I don't think he has time. It's 40 seconds. If he presses B right now, the objective is actually gone.
It's 1,200 now for the fully completed item, right? Like, it went up by 100 gold from memory. So I don't know what Manatee's sitting on, but Rabadons would be massive for this next fight.
3 items on every single member that counts on Team Phantasma, except for Zyra.
They might be caught out because no one's here. Drake's run away. Baus does it again! This guy hurts like a butterfly, stings like a bee, flies when you need him. And Baus, that's the hero of Los Ratones once again, setting up a gorgeous play.
And remember what we said about this Gragas build when you play against Zyra and Ezreal.
Ulti, the buffer. He gets a buffer, though. It's beautiful. Pepe thought he was out, but here comes Velia. However, it is Yone, and he does a lot of damage without many people. It stops right there. Shut down. Over to the mid lane of Los Ratones, and Dragon's going to go down as well. Soul point acquired. Ping's going up towards top, but Baron is a minute away. This timing is going to be free.
And that's a 5,000 gold lead right now. Los Ratones are solidifying their lead on the Rift, especially with this Dragon. Soul point as well to an Ocean and Kyo.
Clean as anything. Baus with another great ulti. Reckless spikes it down. And that's the synergy we're talking about. It's right back at him as Team Phantasma, all of a sudden, it's a 6,000 gold lead in their face. One beautiful team fight, and I mean, Baus did that before, like 10 minutes into the game. And his setup on Gragas is a great reason why a lot of teams also ban this champion away from him amid something like the Sion.
And that was an incredible engagement. Let's watch this one more time. They catch Manatee a little bit too far forward. He has to pre-flash Velia's W right there. Then Baus found the perfect opportunity. And yeah, that's what we talked about. When you are playing the Gragas and you're going towards the full AP build, if there are squished on the enemy team, such as the Ezreal or the Zyra, and you can't find that backline angle, you can definitely 100% zero. I think he just Q'd him, and Zyra was dead.
And this as well, Pepe ultis like he did before, but Nemesis waited for the animation to go off. Then he ults him back as we're back into live, and Baus in a 1v2. That ulti sent Manatee the other way. I think he was dead. Meanwhile, Los Ratones is doing the Baron. So again, it's absorbing all this pressure, spitting it back out on another part of the map, and pings are going top with Baron. This might just be the country road to take him home for game 1.
I'm actually getting very concerned right here for Team Phantasma because they burned through the Yone pick right here without necessarily having any setup for the Yone. I feel like Sejuani would have sort of hugged that pick so well, facilitated for it in the early game, set up kills or set up fights for the late game. And right now they just do not have that opportunity. It's just River setting up. And if Los Ratones do pull ahead and you just have a Nautilus, that Nautilus is going to burn his HP to try and get you a pick. Now Los Ratones literally at the front step, at the front door of your house for Team Phantasma, Baroned up. They haven't necessarily synced any waves, however, so it will be easy to clear up whatever's coming into base for Team Phantasma for the time being.
I mean, that's a great point, is that also wave clear for Team Phantasma becomes very hard. It's melee wave clear for Yone, and Ezreal has individual minion clear. That's about it. Outside of that, Manatee has to commit a lot as Baus just moves to another wave, and here's trying to delay it as much as he can, but look at the siege. Not one, not two, but now it's going to be 3 lanes. Nemesis using the cannon. Baus absorbing pressure from Keo. Crowny is shepherding top wave in as well, so Team Phantasma have to commit to a wave. They decide top, but Nemesis is just AFKing with his cannon minion to take down mid-tier 3.
And you've got Baus pushing in another wave over on the bot side of the map. Team Phantasma have to be split into 2 lanes to try and defend. Pepe has been taking aggressive trades forwards, but all he's losing here is his HP bar.
Keo also has to be careful in this 1v1. I mean, Baus can solo kill him. The Stepfather presence is down. The burst
power is down as well.
Yeah, that's what makes it even more free, isn't it? Loleventvods is going to walk up here and just take the turret themselves. Nemesis stands up, takes it. Crowny now moving with the rest of the team. Inhibitor about to go down, and Keo has to flash away from the explosive cast as Velia. Now wind becomes lightning, sets it up. Pepe finds Crowny in the mid lane, has the barrier and flash, so that's a big pick. Loleventvods maybe going a little bit too far forward near the base. Caught out. Velia has to save the play, though, and does so successfully. But Baus is teleporting in the base, in front of 3 people. This is what they're known for, I have to be honest. Having a lead, having the ball in hand, then just handing it to the enemies for another play.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
He's my bad.
Yeah, that was on
me, guys.
That was on
me.
him.
That
one was on him. That TP was kind of rubbish.
all right. That was a small shutdown right there. Still 8,500 gold lead for Los Ratones. If you look all across their inventories, 4 to 5 items, almost full build for Azir and Corki. Very importantly, no flashes on both the carries for the set of Los Ratones. Can Team Phantasma turn this around? They have a Nautilus. The pick could be there.
I mean, I'll be honest. I feel like it was an almost 10k goal lead, I'm pretty sure, against KC Blue in Game 1. In, the same tournament, in the group stage.
We don't talk about those.
No, but we have to because they threw it away. Like, this is not the cleanest team in League of Legends, or at least, at least in EMEA, I'll be honest. I don't know who the cleanest team is, but I feel like to give them their fair credit, sometimes they can be messy, but that was clean. You know what? Wipe off the dirt. You need something like a cloth, because as that teleport comes in, as Reckless runs for his life. That's a world champion right there. That's a T1 world champion.
Fantastic flash.
That was insane.
To stop the escape from Pepe right there. Reckless literally threw his body in front of that ultimate direction. And Axel and Manatee are waiting, but it's not like you're waiting behind a wall. You're waiting behind a plan. They can definitely see that Cyrax in this brush, even though they have no vision. So no one's going to walk up on this ramp. The ward is going to go down now from River, but the base is pretty much open. No bot lane or mid lane inhibitor towers. Los Ratones are looking for the last dragon, though.
But the explosive cast keeps Manatee here, and Velia connects, gets the burst down as well. Now he might die, but it still might be a trade as Nemesis flies to the back line himself. Reckless with a crash down. Reaver not getting a dredge line. The poke over the wall, excellent. Goes in with an arcane shift. Ulti's in melee range, but it's late. The timing not there. Nemesis gets to survive, and Keo joined in just so Crowny could watch him die. An ace for the soul, for the game. And Los Ratones moved to 10,000 in the lead in this opening game.
Yeah, there's 2 low HP bars. They could have taken that mid lane or bot lane wave and ended the game. However, with Pepe coming up, his ult is up. You definitely do not want to be walking into the base with such low HP bars. Or what do I know? They maybe do, because right now they've got the Ocean Soul. They're healing up.
True. It's enough. Look at Crowny with a red buff in the mid.
All right, 1v4. What you got, Yone? Level 18.
Yep.
4 items. Show us how broken the champ is.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't think he can do much here. He misses, and Reckless makes sure he's not going to move too far forward. Crowny walks up to the wave, and Los Ratones, it was sketchy at some parts, but who are we kidding? Baus is an easy MVP as they find their way to claw a Game 1 away from Team Phantasma.